Hey, it's Topher the Hairy Bastard, right here, live at Starbase Indy. This is GPR, the podcast. Not to be confused with GPR, the toilet paper, GPR.
The flamethrower.
The flamethrower.
That I'm still working on getting from Elon Musk.
We totally want the GPR, the flamethrower.
I've got to have that.
But with us, we are live at Starbase Indy, and with us right now is Demetrius Witherspoon, the man, the myth, the legend, the marketing guru.
Oh, no.
The guy that I take notes from because he's everywhere.
Oh, stop.
He's like MasterCard.
How many zeros you want after that on your check?
Every time I turn around,
He's everywhere you want to be.
He's there promoting. He is a machine. He's here promoting Echo 51.
Yeah,
and
51 and Submerge Blue Star. But I just want to tell you, it is awesome to be able to be on your show today. I know a few times I wasn't able to make it, but you guys rock. You guys rock.
We're glad to have you.
So, who do you have with you? Normally, you bring an entourage at the table. You're getting ready to go do your presentation, your panel here in an hour.
Yeah.
Who's at your table right now?
Well, we have Jerry Beasley, who is going to be playing Lieutenant Commander Kilgun in the Submerge Blue Star film, which we start filming in December, in a few weeks. And so he's going to be in that. And then we have Larry Jones, who he is doing our fight choreography, and he has also played in Nairi Reborn of Submerge.
Cool. You also have the card game going. Are you still giving demos of the thing up there?
Yes. The card game was created by Brett Robinson, and he was actually doing photography on the set for Submerge Echo 51. And I put out to the group and said, do you know anybody that knows how to, make card games? And we have it based off the film. And he sent a message back. I know how to do that. And so we partnered up, and we have an awesome game that's been play testing. We've been getting a lot of good feedback from that. And we're just, we've got a lot of the quirks or different things tighten up, and so now we're just waiting on the graphics to get that done. Well, get some money in to get it done.
Right. And that's the one thing that it takes with games like that. It takes the money.
Yes, it does. And so we're looking at to have that out in 2019. We're planning on getting it out, for Gen Con. So that's our goal.
So, every year, speaking of Gen Con, you've been having all your stuff, showing and whatnot.
Yeah.
Any plans to make the move into getting the table to do all the other stuff, or?
I would love to do that, and that's our ultimate goal there, because we've been there for the last 6 years, and with the film series showing at the Gen Con Film Festival. That's something, if we get the funding for, we would like to put in and trying to make that happen. If not for next year, for 2020, for sure, because we're going to have a full crew. The card game will be out. So here's my ultimate dream, to have the 20 by 20 area, and it's all the Submerge cast signing autographs, and we got the Submerge game happening with the tables and everybody playing that. And it's a Submerge universe, a Submerge franchise. So that's where I like to get to.
Now, for those of our listeners that aren't familiar, go back to what launched the Submerge series.
Okay.
I mean, because you have how many short films now as a part of it, and and growing and growing. You got the book. So let's start from the beginning. How did that start?
In a galaxy far, far away. A great adventure. I started out as an R&B singer, and I wanted to do music videos for my music. And so I borrowed some money from my brother, and me and my daughter rented a Canon 60D and went to YouTube and to find out how to work it. And from there, we just went out and started filming. I did 3 music videos, and from there, I was like, I want to do an action film. And so started. I love Star Wars. I love Stargate. You know, all of that. Buck Rogers, all of that. You know, and I was like, well, you know, and one of the elements was on one of our streets. We have there's a lot of panhandlers down there, but it was a lady that I've seen every day down there looking, you know, waiting for some money, and to see her day after day out there, and that's like what it took for her to get to that point in her life. But now I was like, well, what if we threw her into a multi-universe, and where she had the ability to come out stronger on the other side, to come out of her situation. And so that's where it started. And matter of fact, that's where we filmed, right at that spot. That's where our opening scenes start, with our character, Nairi. She's standing on that same corner, you know, down and out and pregnant and dealing with so much. So,
yeah, I remember the watching the first film. What came since? Because that was pretty cool with the street chase and the
yes.
you know, like the.
That's not me breathing like that.
No.
Lord Vader's walking by.
Darth Vader is walking through. Hello, Darth. How are you? Yeah, I know you see great things for me. Okay, you can only hear it, but you had to see what just happened there. Darth Vader challenged me to a duel. Okay, so what we had?
We'll mark that off the
bucket list.
Yeah, it's like,
put
yeah,
that
well,
on the
okay.
bucket, yeah.
Like the Lord himself.
So from there, I created this this world where this girl's thrown into a multi-universe, and she has to find her way out and find her daughter. And from there, it got picked up from Gen Con, and my eyes were open to everything geek, because I didn't know what that meant. What does that mean? You know, and just the whole world and
Culture shock.
Culture, yeah. And I was like, this is where I need to be going. And so I started kind of tailoring some of my some of my films kind of toward that way, in the sense of how I market it. Because I've seen all these games, these cosplayers that had their own trading card and say, here you go. I was like, oh my God, that is so cool. And so I was like, okay, we're going to start doing this. So when I was there, I was already starting to write my next film, Frozen Land, in the same series. And I said, well, let me do a 3-part, you know, to it, finish it out, and finish the story of Nairi. And so those first 3 went to film festivals, and then it got picked up in Japan.
Nice. And so once we get done with the Nairi side, we're going into more of the
multi-universe, the submerged universe. So, you know, from there we did Echo 51, and then the book was written off my screenplay, and that, you know, we had to go into more characters, more of the universe, and I was like, okay, this is building my franchise, because we have the card game coming off of it, we have the book, and so next from there, because all these were shorts, like 20, 30 minutes, but now we're going to be doing a feature, Submerge Galaxy of Subversion, which we start on next year, and we're so excited about it because I'm able to, it's fun to bring characters that you've had in other episodes, and then you're able to bring them back. And it's like, oh, that's so cool. Raz is in this one, or, you know, so that whole, you know, dynamic on it.
So, like, talking about Raz, so how did you meet Bishop and, like, introduce them to somebody who hasn't, you know, seen the.
Yeah. Well, Bishop Stevens was a former WWE wrestler, and then he got into. He had his own TV show for a minute, workout show, and then he got into acting, and so we put out a casting call for my third film, and that's when we had the most people on set. We had about 30 people on set and everything, and he said, he wanted to come out and audition. I was like, okay. I did not look at where he was coming from. He was coming from St. Louis, 4-hour drive. I was like, you realize this is a short, independent film kind of thing, And he's like, oh, no, I like this character. I want to be part of what you're doing. I was like, okay, sorry. This is just my thing that I do of what Bishop sounds like. Please look him up on IMDb, and Bishop, don't kill me when you see me. He came out, he auditioned, and he auditioned for a character that was covered head to toe with cloth and a hood and a mask, so you wouldn't have even seen him. And if you see Bishop, he's, 6'5", something like that, and just a massive dude. And he was reading this part, and I was like, no, we're not going to cover all that. He was doing a good job. I was like, we're not covering all that up, And I had written Raz for, a white guy. I was thinking, what's that, Lou Ferrigno, kind of like, And then when I was like, well, go read this part for Raz. He went out, he learned it, came back, he read it, was like, oh, that's him. That's him. So he became Raz, and Lord Raz, should I say. And because
Bishop will remind you.
Bishop.
He will remind you. It's Lord Raz.
Yes, he is Lord Raz. But yeah, he embodied that character and brought a lot to it. And while we were filming that's when he was running back and forth to Chicago to film on Empire, Fox TV show. And so it was just an honor to work with him. And then he came back for the next one. He's like, hey, I love this character. And, this is my Robert Downey Jr. character. I'm coming back, So I would never replace him, So we're looking forward to working with him in the feature film.
So I know, like, right now he's working on the Adventures of Salem Tusk or whatever, with the comic coming out based on him. And
yeah, he's working with a writer and artist from Marvel on his work, and it really looks awesome. I can't wait to check it out. And Bishop has so many things that he's working on and done, working with Nicolas Cage and Consumed on Netflix, and so he's rocking and rolling, and it's just nice to be able to have somebody in your corner that appreciates, your hard work that you're doing.
Oh, yeah. So you were getting ready to shoot Blue Star.
Yeah, Blue Star. Yeah.
Any hints of like what it's about, or you wanna?
It's I really wanted to go deep with my characters and bring back some other characters, but I know I'm supposed to be working on the feature film, but this came. Sometimes I don't know if it happens when you're writing something. It comes to you, and I got to do something with this.
Oh, yeah, and it normally drives Don crazy. Because it's like, I totally have a whole other script. You got to finish the first one first.
Yeah.
Oh, but I already got 2 more.
Right. And I was like, okay, this has to happen. And so it's between Nairi Reborn and then Submerge Echo 51. Really continues the story of Nairi and what she's dealing with, and I don't want to give too much away, but it brings back some other characters. Agent Johnson, who's in the Chronicles of Nairi and Nairi Reborn, so we bring him back. Jerome Davis, he's been in Empire for 4 seasons on the Fox TV show Empire, so it's just fun to have him back on board to reprise his character.
And now Nairi is going to be played by
Cassandra.
Shomer, right?
Yeah.
We actually just got done working with her on one of the chapters for the Black Book.
Nice.
We hit her with a car.
Yeah. It's
not really, but
yeah, it's a fun piece to have her on board, and I just can't wait. She really did a good job, and when she auditioned, and Erin, who played it previously, she had some other things going on, and so our schedule wasn't work with what we were doing. So, and I was like, well, we're 10 years down the road, so Nari can look just a little bit different,
Right.
And,
she's now older, and
right.
Working with Cassandra though, like I worked her on several occasions, Homecoming and some other stuff. When you announced that, I was like, yeah.
Awesome. And Aaron too, who played Nari previously, it was cheering for too, because this is just a fun deal when you are able to create something, and now you're able to interchange characters. And so it's kind of like a Bond film. I tried to explain that to one actress because she was just a little upset. It wasn't Nari, it wasn't Aaron, but it was another. We have, another actor that we had to replace. But I was like, this is like James Bond. It's like you are still that character. Sean Connery will forever be James Bond,
right?
But there's somebody new playing him, you know. And so, and it works with what I'm doing because there's multi-universes. So, hey, you might have been evil in this one, but in another universe, you're a good guy. So that leaves so many possibilities.
Well, heck, there could even be a sex change.
Well,
one could be male and one female and another.
So I always give that James Bond reference, or was that Doctor Who? Hey, could be a lady this time,
Right.
So,
Sliders.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did that with Sliders, didn't they?
Yeah, they made. I can't think of the main character. They made he was a girl, and when he slid into one.
Yeah.
I missed that episode, but I remembered it happening. I actually don't remember.
I think it was further down the line. Wasn't
yeah,
it?
it
was a few seasons in.
So, really excited about what's coming up and the new characters that we have in Blue Star. I can't wait. We're gonna do some Funkos for them, and we're starting to push toward the action figure deal, and so especially running with the feature film, pushing that. So we're really excited about it, and bringing so many talented people in. Each time you want to go up your level, of what you're doing and what you're trying to bring about.
So I know, like with Echo 51, you had a whole lot of visual effects that went into that, and William
Rutherford, out of Texas, he did a awesome job on the visual effects, and actually we had 5 people on visual effects, and so I started that, the Hollywood thing of, hey, Walter just worked on the robot with all the lighting on his arm and the lighting of his eyes. That's all he worked on. And then another worked on, the shield. And so really breaking that out, and that helped the load too.
Right.
And if, somebody was coming in to help or whatever, that's just a little bit that they can, do. And that's why you see thousands of people's on the credits for, Avengers, All they had to do is, keep Ultron's eye glowing or something, So,
So we're going ahead and let you get ready for your your event.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out and talking with us. We had a great time.
No problem. Hopefully next time we can bring the cast on.
That would be cool.
Talk about that. Yeah.
That would be cool. What is your next convention?
Well, it won't be. It'll be Imaginarium, which will be down in Louisville. So we'll be guests there. So
Cool.
actually, this is our first official announcement of that. So on your
Oh,
show.
cool.
So
Right on.
we're going to be guests down there. They've already contacted me. So we really had a really good exception there this year. I won Best Director for Echo 51 there. So
Nice.
we're really excited.
Cool. Well, hope everything goes great with in
Yeah,
December,
yeah.
and
Well,
can't
thank
wait to see it.
Right. Yeah, you. If you want to check out the films, you can go to DV. That's D like in David, V like in Victor, Entertainment Pictures with an S.com, and you can also hit us up on Facebook and any of the movies, Submerge, Echo 51, Submerge Galaxy of Subversion, Submerge Blue Star. All of that's on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter.
Cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
Right on.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys. All right.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do, like I said, we are live, hanging out right here at the table.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can motion the next person to come over.
Yeah. Next on deck.
Yeah. She was wrapped up in watching the
Andorian.
Andorian.
The Andorian transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds dirty.
You be nice.
Hello.
You be a gentleman, damn it.
Hello.
How are
Hello.
you doing?
Good. How are y'all?
So let's talk. Introduce yourself to our audience. This is the live podcast that we were talking about earlier. So go ahead and
Sure. Sure. I'm Shannon Eichhorn. I'm a mechanical and aerospace engineer. I'm also the author of a new contemporary space opera novel, Rights of Use.
Nice. We had an interesting. Well, for me, it was an interesting conversation yesterday about aerospace in Ohio. Like that's not a place you would imagine outside of like Wright Pat.
And the Wright brothers and
Right, but you're talking like there's a NASA place
there is
in Cleveland, or
right in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So in the 1930s, Cleveland had air races next to what is now Cleveland Hopkins Airport, and that space got taken over by the National Advisory Committee on Aeronautics, and eventually became NASA in the 1950s. So
That's pretty. There's a whole new reason to go to Cleveland.
it's a good place.
He's like, okay. So let's talk about the book, The Rights of Use.
Sure.
So I know you've been actually busy because every time I walk around, you're doing another panel and like women in STEM and the whole 9 yards. So how did you pour that into the book, or?
It was kind of the other way around. I wrote the 0th draft of this in 8th grade. And then, was getting ready to graduate high school, and I told my dad I wanted to be a sci-fi writer, and he goes, you need a day job. So I figured, if I study...
Sorry, Olivia.
if I study aerospace, then, I should be able to make a comfortable day job and write on the side and write better sci-fi, I thought. Little did I know that I was going to be writing mostly like biology and politics.
But with Rights of Use, can you? You said it was a space opera, contemporary space opera.
It is.
Like, how is? Can you, without giving the book away?
Sure.
When most people think of space opera, they think of like Star Wars as a space opera,
Yes.
or Battlestar Galactica.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a little bit of a range there.
Sure.
You're trying to narrow it down. Is that what you're doing here?
Yeah, like
Okay,
what is
just-
what is the?
What's
So
it?
it's,
Oh, go ahead.
sure. So it's 1998, Earth as We Knew It. Project Blue Book, which the Air Force conducted, was used as disinformation to distract from the project that was actually investigating flying saucers. this looks significant.
Oh, sorry.
So
We have a show
Yeah.
that this fit the theme fits in really well. Yeah.
perfect. But little do we know, out there is an entire galactic empire of alien symbionts that use human bodies as hosts.
Okay, that's a little different. That's a little different.
I have a small symbiont obsession. So
So does that come from like watching stuff like Stargate?
Stargate, Jadzia Dax is my favorite from Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's getting comfortable, and it's been a long day.
Sure. Basically, most alien symbiont characters I fall in love with instantly.
So you've been writing since 8th grade,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know how old, if it's okay to ask how old you are.
I am super excited. I'm going to turn 30 next month.
Well, that'll change when you get our age.
I'm really tired of being asked when I'm going to graduate high school.
My wife's almost 40 and gets asked that same question.
Oh. Okay.
But so you're getting ready to turn 30.
Mm-hmm.
You've been writing since 8th grade,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just now like how I heard there was like publisher stories and this that and the
Oh.
other because I was talking to
Yeah.
over there at
Mm-hmm. Giggles.
yeah,
A
and
concoction.
you know she was like, oh, she was with us since the beginning, and you know, so
Sure.
we must hear some of these
Okay, it was her
Publisher
that she
story.
was talking about as her famous author.
yeah.
What?
She said that you're her famous author.
I'm not famous. Like maybe Twitter famous, my 3,000 followers, and that's it.
That's
Compared to the people who have-
2,999 more than I got. So.
It's still, like, compared to the people who have 10,000 or 100,000 or millions.
It's all subjective.
It's not really famous. So, I've
Like-
been writing this series throughout high school, and I was going to move on from it. My mom convinced me to start over and rewrite it when I was going into college. So I did. I spent 2.5 years doing the first draft of what this is now, and continued rewriting it since then, except for a couple years I was working on the sequels. So I did a rewrite through an independent study at Case Western Reserve University. I did a rewrite with a writing group that was dedicated to science fiction and fantasy. The gentleman who's been helping me out this weekend is from that writing group.
Cool.
And then I knew somebody who was starting up a small publishing company, and they begged me to submit. And they were involved with the Cleveland Writers Group and giving out a lot of writing advice, and really stressed, if you're going to submit to a publishing company, you have to meet the submission guidelines.
Right.
And I kept telling them, you're requiring 90,000 words, and my book is 68. I can't submit. And they kept pestering me. So I submitted, and they came back and said, well, how fast can you add 30,000 words? So 3 months later, I gave them 100,000 words,
Nice.
with the last 30,000 being terrible. And they hired an editor, and they lined up a publicity person. And, we signed a contract, and it was really cool. And then, working with that editor, we stepped through, some of the problems that were still remaining after all those rewrites, and started a whole nother rewrite for draft 11. Again. So,
Well, by now you pretty much know your characters. I mean, you've only been writing them since.
right, I knew the characters, but I also knew the characters as they would become 10, 15 years later.
Right.
And rolling them back to the right emotional reactions that they needed for experiencing this the first time was really a hurdle for me.
I could see that.
I've been writing about body possessing symbionts since I was in 8th grade. I'm pretty comfortable with the idea. I have trouble accepting that other people aren't.
There's that.
So, working with that editor, really breathed life into that draft. But at the same time, I was working on leading a wind tunnel test, and that was taking over my life and really slowing down the writing thing. So it kind of stalled out until the test finished, and by then I tried to get in contact with the editor, and he didn't answer, and I thought, oh no, the last thing I heard, there was something going on, and is he okay? How am I going to find out? So I kept working through the draft and kind of put the worrying about it on the back burner, and ran into somebody who knew him at the Nebulas a few months later. Hey, Bill, you know everyone. Is this guy okay? Oh, yeah, he's just pissed that he's not getting paid. So,
okay.
So some things weren't going well with the publisher, and I hired another editor by myself and tried to work with her and finished the rewrite, and then hired a lawyer and got the rights back and self-published it.
Well, there you go.
So,
And that's something that you got to look out for.
I have to say, though, that dealing with the publisher while conducting the wind tunnel test is probably the most unique problem I've ever heard of. I mean, I have nothing that could compare to that.
No.
that was a really long year.
So,
What?
Sorry.
The Andorian stuff still going on. What got you interested in doing the? And now the word leaves me.
The wind tunnels, the writing, the engineering.
That's it, right there.
All
Engineering.
of the engineering?
Yeah.
Dr. Samantha Carter from Stargate.
Nice. Yep.
I was trying to figure out what I had to study in college since I couldn't become a sci-fi writer right off the bat. I'm trying to figure out what would make a good day job, and I figured, well, I want to be Samantha Carter. She's pretty awesome.
Gives you practical applications too to
Right.
assist with your writing.
That's the notion. Turns out none of my characters care about aerospace. So maybe in a later book.
No, the question is what type of when you with the hunter or the honor corps over there?
Sure.
How hard of sci-fi are you going versus?
I call it soft sci-fi.
Okay.
I was working with a gentleman who went into biomedical engineering, and he now designs prosthetic eyes. And we've bantered back and forth about, well, how does the symbiont interface to the brain, and what are the consequences of this particular interaction? So he calls it firm.
Okay.
Firm science.
Firm science.
Sure.
So, but it's more of the medical side of how everything versus like the astrophysics, like the hard astrophysics of.
It's more of the daily life consequences of the medical aspects. There's a little bit of the aerospace. There's a lot of aerospace design that went into it that isn't necessarily physics.
Okay.
I like that little catchphrase. In a war over consent, only some things are black and white. I really like that.
It took me a long time to realize that's what the book was about. I think that's one of the differences between even the proof copies and the final copy.
And I've come across this after writing whatever, and people bringing up how many people have brought up concepts that are covered in they put into the book, or they read out of the book, like, oh, well, this is a great analogy for this, or this is a great example of this that you weren't even intending when you first, or did you carefully structure?
You're talking about people reading into it?
Yeah.
So far, it was mostly just the English professor and my writing group. This book has only been out for a couple months. This is my first con.
Oh, okay.
Really interacting with people as an author.
Well, that's cool.
So I'm super excited about that.
It's okay.
I think it's this end of the table. I'm telling you.
No, I've been muting my mic just to make sure that I didn't.
I don't get the fancy buttons to push. I got to cover mine.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Are you all right?
Yeah, I was eating nuts over there, and now I'm trying
Well, no, breathing solid objects doesn't really work very well. But thank you for coming and hanging out with us. I'm going to try to pick up your book. At least get the Kindle version.
Sure.
So if you got I saw you're handing
You
out the
cheap
flyers.
bastard. Get the real thing.
Some people like electronic.
That's where I
You-
got
are
all
you
the
gonna are you going to call it out for being a DTB?
What?
Don't do that. Dead Tree Book. Don't do that.
No,
Get
I
something-
have an entire library at the house. It's just I don't have any more room for. I'll start stacking them up on the side of the stairs.
What do you mean you don't have any room?
Well, I will, but
Yeah, you will.
not now. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
We had, like I said, I definitely want to
Where
get some of the
where
information.
I mean, but if for folks that aren't here, where can they get her book?
Well, it's available on Kindle. It's available on Amazon, and I hope someday it will be available in audiobook formats.
And it's called Rights of Use.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry about the coughing.
That's all right. Should have heard me earlier.
It's so dry in here.
Yeah, it is.
The Andorian sucked all the air out of the room, or all the moisture out of the room.
Apparently. So
I have Mike.
we,
Oh, you killed this one.
huh? Aw.
See if we can get there. Yeah, we'll get Concoction to come over here. Getting everybody's attention.
So, we were talking about before, this is live.
Yes.
Us pretty much camped out in the main room. Starbase Indy.
Yeah.
So we have it's waiting on our next guest to come over.
This will be the time Troy walks in,
Probably.
because Troy can finish out a show.
Well, we told him
Yeah.
3:30.
Yeah.
So
it's quarter till 4 now.
He's running late.
Well, I think we were a little behind getting on there because
Yeah, it was a
Mr.
little,
Mack was putting us to sleep.
it was just a little louder than we anticipated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You bring her up. There we go. Hello again.
Hello again. How you guys doing?
All right.
Not
how
too
you?
bad. How are you?
I am enjoying the con. I got to watch a full makeup demonstration, which was fantastic. I didn't have to move from my table.
Neither did we.
Front row seats. I didn't even have
Right.
to pay for.
Right.
I don't know. We had a box in the way. That was our only the only issue. But Laura,
Yes,
you are with.
I'm with Cleveland Concoction.
Okay.
I am the con chair for the 6th year of Cleveland Concoction this year
Cool.
in 2019.
Cool. So tell our listeners, because we haven't made it there yet.
No, not yet.
Yet.
Yet. I did say yet.
But tell us a little bit about Concoction.
Concoction is the only fan-run, all-volunteer-run con in Cleveland. Like I said, this will be our 6th year. And we always do mashup themes. So we take two different but maybe corresponding ideas and put them together. So this year's theme is based around science space, because it is the anniversary of the moon landing, 1969. And also we are mashing that up with all things dark and creepy that come from the dark side of the moon, including everything Cthulhu and Lovecraft.
And that's
All
why.
hail the great tentacled one.
And that's why, as soon as I saw the cards,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah. Fool. Dog. And
as soon as I saw the card, I was like, I need that one. I need to talk to them. So, because that's like my favorite genres. So, so this is your 6th year. Who are your guests coming up?
We
you-
haven't
that you
announced all of our guests yet.
That you have announced.
who have you announced?
We have, so far we've announced Jim O'Rear. He's going to be our media guest. Fantastic actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's done movies. He's done some TV. He's a little bit of everything, jack of all trades. He's pretty cool. So we're going to have him. And then we're also going to have Stephen Hickman. He's our guest artist.
Okay.
He's award-winning. Very fantastic gentleman. He also has, if you're interested in getting a copy of his book, he actually has a book with a lot of his artwork out. You can get it from him at the con or on Amazon. I believe it's also listed. So
Cool.
Yep.
Is there anything that you can hint at? Give us a hint that maybe be coming? Without saying anything?
Well, we may have a group that is Cthulhu themed, possibly for gaming guest, but I can't really say anything beyond that. But we do
you
have
guys wheels turning.
I have him thinking. It's a possibility we may have some more Cthulhu in the future. Our MC is also going to be H.P. Lovecraft themed as well.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
He's really thinking now.
He's
The
running
eyes.
How cool it could be. All right, you got me. I'm coming. We're going.
Wahaha. All mine.
So you
I'm
said
easy.
so you said that this is a really it's in a really nice hotel.
Mm-hmm. It is at the Bertram Inn and Conference Center.
Okay.
So if you've been to the Cleveland area, it is actually about 5 minutes from where SeaWorld used to be, as well as Old Geauga Lake.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And you guys are pretty much taking over the entire.
We take over the entire place. The Bertram has 2 separate facilities. So they have an annex building, and we take over that as well. 24-hour gaming is over in that building, along with our vendors hall. We started at the Sheraton Hotel at the airport. And one of our imports from our move was to take the amphitheater and rename it, while we are there, the Pegasus Room. A lot of our performance music goes in that room, and if you've ever heard of OVFF, which is Ohio Valley Folk Fest, they also put out the Pegasus Awards. So when we started at the Sheraton, all of our music was in the Pegasus Room.
Nice.
So it's a nice carryover to marry all that together.
Right. So this is the 6th year you're doing the Lovecraft theme with the other 'cause that's my brain.
The moon landing.
Yeah.
Because Cthulhu could have been involved. You never know. There's apparently all this conspiracy around the moon landing.
No, that show's tonight at 9.
Yeah.
I might have to watch that.
It's a whole show about conspiracies and whatnot, and the alien civilization that lives on the dark side of the moon.
Well, that's not tonight. That's we've done part of that one already.
Yeah.
Jim's trying to get me killed, is what he's trying to do.
Oh no, tonight's the Illuminati.
Yeah, tonight's Illuminati.
So tinfoil hat's got it.
Yeah.
Last week was the Luciferian agenda.
Yeah. Not only did we find out that one of our contributors to the station
Is his ancestors? Well, he's a member of the Donner Party. He's a descendant from a member of the Donner Party.
Well, now.
Yeah.
yeah. But not only that, but there are people with his last name listed as prominent members of the Illuminati.
From Vermont, and if you look at a picture
If they get hungry, run.
of the guy, it looks just like a shaved version of her friend. We're like, and the other brother looks like his nephew.
So like
We're
the
like,
familiar
well, okay.
resemblance is strong. It's like total Illuminati. But back to the gaming side of things.
Fair enough. Okay.
You squirreled.
Well,
You squirreled.
Yeah, we do that. Tangents.
tangents.
Oh, I'm used to it.
Well, one of the things that will be different, aside from possible gaming guests, I don't know. Have you ever played Artemis? It's a bridge simulator game.
Yes.
Okay.
I seen it. I think it was at Gen Con.
They would have had it at Gen Con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've played that one.
We watched. We
It's very
we rolled
cooperative.
through it because it was the one that was down.
Oh, is that the one that was in Lucas Oil?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've seen it, but I haven't played it.
So, little known con in Cleveland area called ArmadaCon will not be happening in 2019. It's actually going to carry over to 2020 instead. However, the folks who run ArmadaCon, which is strictly an Artemis con, people bring in their like souped up, really cool rigs. They bring in their big, giant screens to play off of, water cooled systems, you name it, the whole nine, lights, bells, whistles, everything. So instead of Armada happening this year in 2019, the folks that run ArmadaCon are actually coming to Concoction to run Artemis during the weekend.
Nice.
So you can play Artemis with the folks who run ArmadaCon and likely the creator of the game.
That's cool.
That is pretty cool. Because some of the stuff that they had down there.
The creator of the game is from Cleveland. Or at least the Cleveland area.
Right.
Like plug.
There's some pretty cool things in Cleveland, just saying.
But thank you for coming out. We definitely want to be down and go up there.
A little. We're
Wouldn't
a
it
little
technically be over?
north. It would be over and
It'd be
up.
over for us, wouldn't it?
Well, no, because we're
Northeast-ish.
It's-
We're by the lake.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would be.
You keep going, you're going to go to Canada.
Yeah, okay.
But thank you very much. We look
Absolutely.
forward to talking about the possibility of us being up there.
It'll be March 1st through the 3rd in 2019. We're going to be, like I said, Aurora, Ohio, which is the Cleveland area. Outside of that, I'd say keep an eye on our website, keep an eye on our Facebook group. Feel free to join. We're a community-based con, and we run Friday to Sunday.
Okay, and we'll post some of that information on our
Absolutely.
Facebook and website.
And we'll keep in touch.
There you go.
And they're a lot nicer than me. They possess inner monologue where I don't.
Yes,
And thank you
that's
for
good.
having me on, guys.
Well, no
I
problem,
appreciate
Michelle.
it. I hope you're having a good con.
You too. I'm going to try to flag him down.
Who? Troy?
Mr. Evil.
Oh, is he over there? Is he over there? I didn't see him. Oh, there he is. That's
Yeah, because we actually ran into him earlier
yeah, we
and had a great time. So I want to
we gotta get Dr. Evil over here.
Yeah. She's actually going to run over there and
I'm gonna try to get his attention.
she's actually going to go over there and do a
Yeah. Yeah.
stranger danger.
What do you say?
Stranger danger.
It don't get much more stranger.
Right? Hey, it's the Caucasians. You're okay.
Come on, Donnie.
It's the Caucasians. You're all right.
Dr. Evil himself.
Take your mic.
There you go.
We were actually sitting here having a good time talking about actually when we met you. And it was like decided like with all of the fun stuff that the joking around and finding out that you're my new favorite person for the con.
It's true. He's got a man crush on you.
Oh, really? Wow. Hey, I had to say this,
but we figured we were getting ready to close out the show, and it wouldn't be a Starbase Indy for us to without saying at least saying hey and why don't you talk about some of the stuff like you were telling us with Dragon Con and all the other stuff? So
I'm involved with Dragon Con. I have been since day one. I used to run the hospitality suite at Dragon and did that for like around 27 years. I've been in fandom for a total of 45 years.
nice.
And it's in my blood. I would open up a vein and show you.
We don't ask that much.
Okay. And this is my second time at Starbase Indy. The first time, I believe, was 25 years ago. So I won't come back for another 25 years.
So it was good that we got it in now.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Every 25 years.
Look at the pretty pictures. Yeah.
But so, what got you involved in Dragon Con? You said you were there since the beginning.
Yeah.
What got you interested in?
Well, let's go back in time, say around 1976, 1975.
Mm-hmm.
My big sister dropped me off at a convention in New York at the Statler Hilton. Here, go have fun. It was a Star Trek convention, very small. And I was a little kid running around, and everyone pretty much adopted me. And it's like, oh, that's little Joe, just let him have fun. And it stuck. And then went to all the little Trek conventions, moved to Atlanta, went to Dragon Con. No, actually, back in those days, we had Fantasy Fair, which was just as big as Dragon in the day.
Right.
And then that passed away, and we had Dragon Con, and I started up with that. And conventions and art is what I do.
We're this has been a long con so far,
Oh, I understand.
and loads of alcohol last night.
We should be doing this in the bar.
No, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, do they have Guinness?
No.
they don't. But we can fix something up,
There's a liquor store right over there.
I know, we need some Goldschlager. That will fix you right up. Yeah.
But our goal is to eventually make it down to Dragon Con.
Please, we have a podcasting track,
Cool.
and you guys will fit in perfectly there.
Cool.
Garrett Wang, who plays Harry Kim, is the director of Star Trek panels. Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm on his track, and I'm the third. My job is to sit back and look sexy.
Well, it sounds like an easy job. So
It
it's
is. I sit back, I have a drink in my hand.
whatever he says.
Yeah. Don't put me in charge. But you would truly enjoy it. I believe we had 95,000 people this year.
Nice.
All the hotels are already sold out for next year.
So the RV would have to happen.
We're going to have to find a place to park the RV.
Actually, yeah, we do have RV parking.
All right, so
See,
we're
what I
renting
tell you,
it.
Don's buying us an RV. I got this figured out.
But you can actually, Atlanta has a decent mass transit system.
Yeah.
And you can actually have a hotel room by the airport. Hop on the train, boom, you're there in 20 minutes.
No, that's not bad either.
The
No,
only
that is-
problem, at I think 2 o'clock in the morning, it stops running.
That would be a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
For us, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Stumble back in from the bar.
Huh?
How do we get back?
Oh, yeah, that happened to me once. I was in Atlanta. I was club hopping. And I was like, okay, I'm from New York. I'll just take a bus home. Standing on the street corner. Police car pulls up. What are you doing?
Waiting on a bus.
Waiting on the bus.
No, me being cocky from New York, it's like, none of your business. Lights come on.
Whatever I want.
Like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm waiting for a bus. There are no buses anymore. Get in the car. So I realized I'm most likely not going to be sleeping at home tonight. They actually drove me home.
No kidding.
Nice.
They actually drove me home, which was really, really,
You're like, well,
yeah. So that was the first time I sat in the back of a police car.
Well, I'm curious if they stop running the trains at 2 a.m., what time do they start them back up of the morning?
5.
Just take you a 3-hour nap.
Yeah. They try to clean the system.
And that gives you just enough time to take a nap that doesn't really do you any good, just pisses you off when you wake back up and you haven't done anything
Yeah,
yet.
so I just keep on going.
Yeah, might
Right.
as well.
Well, it is time for us to wrap this up. Time for our podcast to come to an end for the live show. But it doesn't mean that the party has to stop here at Starbase Indy. So if
What's
you're
your next
still,
con?
My next convention, wow. Will be ChatterCon up in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yeah.
They have a very nice con suite, all free beer. And they have lovely stew. Then
Write
there's
this down.
Chattanooga, which is like a couple of weeks down the road. I think in Atlanta we have a convention every month. So, Gefilk is a singing convention, a filking convention, down by the airport in Atlanta. I will be there.
Oh, cool.
I'll be helping with the auction.
Cool. But like I said, we do have to wrap everything up. Thank you for stopping in,
Joseph Campbell, by the way,
Joseph.
also known as Evil.
Dr. Evil. Get Dr. Evil over here.
That's why I was like, get Evil over here. They're like, which one? They're like, no, the evil one.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Well, thank you, and thank you for making our convention.
Any, I don't know, words of inspiration,
Yes.
before we
Victory is life. Victory is life. And drink your white. Drink your. It's a Star Trek reference. Actually, coming out of my mouth now, I'm like, that sounds really, really inappropriate. Sorry.
It happens.
Sorry, I'm going to put a big R rating or whatever. Rating on your podcast. I'm sorry.
But we will talk to you guys later. We're going to enjoy the rest of our con, and hope you do too. Come on out. The rest of the day, you got stuff tomorrow. We're in west side of Indianapolis, down by the airport. So it's the Wyndham. Come on out. If you're not here already, if you're not here, get here.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
One sticker for you, one sticker for him.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to give him a sticker.